Welcome to YOPE, your optimal personal economy, the podcast that empowers high performers to think differently around earning, protecting, saving, investing, and growing their wealth. We see wealth, while encompassing money, also including other domains that hold significance, such as health, mindset, fitness, relationships, and diet. In every episode, your host, Justin Bennett, the founder and president of Bennett Financial, will discuss how he has been helping shift conventional paradigms in order to take control of their own personal economy. By taking ownership of your own circumstances instead of following traditional methods, you can truly yield the results that will produce solutions in line with your expectations. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Your Optimal Personal Economy. This is Justin Bennett here. As we mentioned during our last episode, we spent some time with marketing consultant Aric Johnson, who spends a lot of time with other financial professionals, getting to understand what they're up to and asking really good questions. We wanted to invite Aric back onto the show and spend some time with Aric so that we can explore what I think is a valuable topic for our listeners so that they can become more familiar with the digital ecosystem that we've been hard at work building out over the last couple of years. So welcome, Aric.
Thank you, Justin. It's a pleasure to be back. I'm excited to talk about this topic.
Excellent. You know, I think what's valuable, Aric, is to give a little bit of background on why I started to build this digital ecosystem, and it became very, very clear to me that there were three reasons why I wanted to build this ecosystem, and those three reasons were the motivation from the beginning, and those three reasons remain the motivation. So those three objectives have not changed. So I think the first objective to share with our listeners is that when I'm growing a business and we're developing very, very high-touch, valuable relationships with the people that we serve, it's important that the clients are continuously receiving relevant and valuable ongoing information pertaining to the type of work that we've done together. And so we feel as though having this ongoing digital awareness on why we're doing the planning we're doing, which is helping them with their protection, which is helping them with their wealth building, which is helping them with their cash flow deployment, etc. We thought it'd be a good way to remain connected with our clients so that they can be constantly reminded and not influenced by outside third-party folks that don't fully understand planning, why we do what we do around their planning. So that was the first objective. Second objective was, as we're developing these long-term relationships and we continue to develop value to our clients, and it's only after we confirm and work hard to develop value, our clients feel very, very strongly about the work that we do together, that they then want to share it with people that they care about, family, friends, associates. And so they make high-level introductions to existing or to prospective new clients. And what typically happens, Aric, is when an introduction is made, we have a very, very simple conversation with the new prospective client so that not only can they get a feel for who we are and what we're up to, but we can also get a feel for them. And then we try to make a mutual determination if the timing is right, if the philosophy that which they see the world and that which we see the world is aligned, then we could potentially begin working together. But of course, it doesn't always end up being the case that timing is right to engage in a high-end long-term relationship. And so we want to be empathetic of that. And so for those people that timing is not right to enter into a long-term relationship, we're simply able to say to that person, hey, listen, we want to create this bridge for you to walk across so that as we move through time, you continuously receive information about proper planning and the work that we do. And when the timing is right, we're going to be here to help you and serve you. So you reach out to us when the timing's right, and that's simply going to be a result of them continuously getting information, constantly hearing our narrative, constantly hearing our philosophy, constantly reading the white papers, et cetera, et cetera. And so we just want to make sure that we're available and there for the people when the timing is more appropriate. So that's the second objective. And the third objective, Aric, is so that in my life, I've developed relationships over the years, going back to grade school, high school, college, et cetera, et cetera. And, everybody tends to go in different directions after you spend those temporary periods of time together, but you've developed a good relationship. So people might be living in other parts of the country and we haven't talked to them in 15 or 18 or 19 years. And by being connected on social media, as an example, they could then become aware and they could learn on their timetable what it is that we do professionally and how we may be able to help them. And so these are people that we know, people that know us, and people that would then want to reach out, high-performing people that want help with their planning. And so we have this ability to keep engaged with people from years and years ago and be able to provide value to them in their planning. And we've had many, many people over the years reach out to us from college days, high school days, and even before that. And it's been, well over 20 years in some cases with people, and here we are serving them today. So those are the three objectives that we found to be, that I embarked on and I continue to keep in the forefront as we build this out.
Yeah, that threefold approach is fantastic because just highlighting kind of what you said, the first piece that you even spoke about is consistency. And in any marketing, in any type of delivery system, consistency is key. And this podcast is a perfect example because I know even through your white papers, the research that you've done, the content that you're putting it out in very bite-sized pieces. And as a consumer, we get bombarded all day long, every day with all sorts of information. Most of it we don't want. But when you're able to key in on the things that are going to help you and help you grow, which is your second prong of your or the second part of your three-part approach, you're continuing developing growth in those that you're working with and those that you aren't working with, because giving them these tidbits, giving them these hints, tips, and tricks and education, that's going to help them grow whether they're working with you at that moment or not. You're kind of almost like tilling the ground, right? You're making the soil ready for them to come work with you. And then I of course, I love, social media is a huge piece of everybody's life today. And for good and bad, right? there's some good ones out there and there's some bad ones out there. But the fact that you're on the forefront of that and continuing to do that to foster those relationships and continue to grow those, continue to keep those connections close, again, it's all about educating, consistency, and the deliverables that you're doing, which I think is fantastic.
Absolutely. And I think, frankly, so many industries have been doing this for an extended period of time over the last several years. And I feel as though the financial services industry at large doesn't really have any one firm in the country that I've come across, and maybe there are firms out there, but I haven't come across any financial firms that would provide this type of offering to the marketplace, when the marketplace, in my opinion, is so it wants this type of exposure, this type of education, this type of availability. And, maybe financial firms are doing it. Like I said, I'm not totally sure of every financial firm out there, but I know that the way that we do it, is very, very unique. It's very precise. It's very intentional. And I just think it's a way that the clients, the prospective new clients by way of high-level introductions, and the relationships from our past tend to really, really find that this approach is valuable. So those are the three objectives, Aric. I think to be specific on what we've been able to build, it's been kind of an omnibus of an outreach. We've not just developed a website, but obviously we're recording this podcast here today, and I think we're closer to 100 episodes than we are 0, which is kind of a cool thing to even say. I think, I don't know, this might be closing in on 90 episodes. And what's actually, in addition, pretty cool around the podcast is not just the number of episodes that we've launched, but also the number of downloads. I think we're either at or close to 30,000 downloads.
Wow.
So, there's been some engagement. Clients are talking about it. There's buzz around it. I'm getting positive feedback. Of course, there's feedback that I welcome from people that may be constructive because we haven't mastered it. We're always looking to improve. But in addition to the podcast and the website, as we alluded to, we have a strong presence on social media, that being Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And we're putting out daily posts on those platforms to allow for there to be this continuous and ongoing education. In addition, we have multiple compliance approved white papers that could be downloaded on our website. The website's Bennett FG, BENNETTFG.com. So we've got multiple white papers that are compliance approved and that could be downloaded and received at no cost on the website. That also expand on the way in which we see planning. We're continuously looking to roll out new white papers. So we have between the social media, multiple platforms, the white papers, the website, the podcast. I mean, we're trying to be there for the marketplace in a way in which other financial professionals may not be there. And we're just receiving really, really favorable and positive feedback from the people that we serve.
Yeah, I would agree. And one of the things that I've noticed is that, and just knowing you the way I do, I know this is where your heart is at. You want to be able to provide neutral, and I don't know if that's even the right word, but neutral education to the folks that are consuming what you're putting out there. Because again, as consumers, the stuff that we're getting inundated with are commercials from financial firms that are all rosy and, showing us on a sailboat sailing into the sunset with the perfect retirement, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to sell something in that picture. They're trying to sell a picture of a future that anybody would want, kind of thing. And then on the flip side of that coin, you have the media that sensationalizes the negatives, the market going down, and they do a lot of fear mongering, in my opinion, because they want viewers. They want to sell advertising, so they need you to tune in. So they're going to say outlandish things, or they're going to try to plant some seeds of fear of what's going on in your future so that you'll tune into their station, where you're right in the middle. You're not sensationalizing anything. You're just bringing fact and truth to the general audience to let them decide what's best for them. What fits their situation. I know that you deal with clients with a wide range of different needs. How do you decide what content you're putting out on what medium?
Yeah, good question. I think, as picky as the marketplace may be when it's searching for a financial professional, I could submit to you, Aric, that we're very, very picky on the people that we serve and the people that we enter into relationships with. Mm-hmm. And the people that get the most value out of the type of work that we do have 3 characteristics. Number 1, they're family and business minded. So they authentically care about their spouse and or kids and grandkids. They're not kind of just going through the motions to go through the motions there, but they authentically have a very, very close-knit family bond. And then also what they do professionally, whether they own a business or they're a high-performing professional inside of a business, they have a desire to want to really perform inside of that craft. So family and business-minded is the first characteristic. The second characteristic is somebody that has upward capacity and desire. So let me just touch on that a little bit. So somebody that is not content with mediocrity, somebody is not on cruise control, somebody that's always looking to stack their development, year over year so that they're always growing. And as a result, their wealth is going to grow, their cash flow is going to grow, their income is going to grow. And not only do they have desire, but they have capacity inside of whatever they're doing. So desire and capacity to grow is very, very important. And the third one is somebody that can make decisions. It doesn't just have to be a financial decision, but decisions based on facts rather than opinion, sales hype, or innuendo. So it's really important that people can look at that decision and not necessarily be influenced by an uncle that has little to no experience, little to no knowledge around a certain topic, but is weighing in with good intentions and therefore going to influence somebody, and that person is going to follow the lead of somebody that is not familiar with the conversation at hand. So someone's family business minded, someone that has upward capacity and desire with regards to their wealth, and somebody that also can make decisions based on facts are three characteristics that are critical and can be found in all of our clients. And I think just separate from those three, all of our clients, Aric, tend to be disciplined, open-minded, and they're already successful before we even meet. So they've already achieved some level of success before we meet, and a lot of that has to do with how they're wired. It's not necessarily because their bank account is the largest around town, but success to me and to the people that we serve is a lot bigger than just one's financial world, right? When you think about their entire personal economy, it's also the way in which they see the world. It's also the relationships that they develop. It's how they feel about people. It's their desire to want to connect. It's their health. It's their fitness. It's their diet. It's all of this stuff. And if all of this is properly balanced, the way that we feel and the clients that we serve tend to feel like there's some level of success. And so people are already successful. Of course, along the way, we find ourselves having conversations with clients after we start to engage that helps them get the best out of themselves just through conversation. So the work we do is very, very comprehensive and touches on all of these areas.
How much of your content is developed based on conversations and questions that come into you from both prospects and clients?
Fair amount, as a percentage, maybe half, give or take. And then there's that other element, the other content, the other 50% of content it's you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so, the marketplace, there's a big space in there that the marketplace doesn't know what it doesn't know. And so we try to fill that void with maybe roughly the other 50%. But yeah, I think about half, Aric, comes from clients asking questions or situations or conversations that we're having.
Yeah, I love that because I've worked with too many advisors that they have their own agenda, they have their own plan, they're going to put this out, that out, this other information. They're still answering questions, that clients have, but they're usually answering them one-on-one. And what they're not realizing is if one client has that question, another client does, or a prospect does. And so utilizing that information and listening, truly using good listening skills to those questions that are coming in and being able to form that into content to push back out to answer them and answer people's questions that you didn't even know they had. That's fantastic. And it leaves you very open to be flexible.
That's right. I mean, the big man confirmed that I was given 2 ears and one mouth, so I like to be able to use the 2 ears more than the one mouth, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, listen, I think this is all good stuff. I think spending some time just to outline some of this information is valuable for our followers and our listeners, and we appreciate all those that continue to support this aspect of our business because, of course, we recognize that without clients, we don't have a business. And so we're going to continue to work hard to hold up our end of the bargain as it relates to the relationships that we enter into and continuing to provide ongoing and relevant information. And, if there's any questions that somebody may have, somebody that knows us from 15, 20, 25 years ago, and they want to just reconnect, feel free to, reach out to us. There's a contact us page on our website. The website, again, is bennettfg.com. We'd be happy to hear from you. You could hit us up on social, like I said, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. You can search us and find us and follow us. You could comment. So we welcome the engagement. We look forward to continuing to build upon our existing relationships, and we look forward to building new relationships with the people we serve. So, Aric, I appreciate your time today. It's been great for you to ask some of these questions, and maybe we can carve out some time on future recordings when we could spend some time together and talk about some other topics, if that's okay.
That would be great, but I'm going to throw down the gauntlet before you wrap this up. For any of those listeners that have questions that they haven't heard answers to in the podcast that they've listened to so far, is there an email or maybe they can get onto social and ask those questions? Is there a place where they can ask the questions and maybe you can address those in future podcasts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they could always send an email. I'm happy to field an email. If somebody has a question that's specific to them or it's something that they want to expand on, they could email Justin, Justin, Bennett, Bennett, at bennettfg.com. So that's justin.bennett@bennettfg.com. Would love to hear from you, and I assure you, you will hear back within a few hours. That's just the type of service that we provide. We don't kick the can down the road days later, weeks later. So, that's part of our model. We serve, and I think people appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So thanks again, Aric, and look forward to another discussion on an upcoming recording. And for all those listeners, thanks so much and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to YOPE, Your Optimal Personal Economy. We look forward to sharing more conversations with you and invite you to visit our website, BennettFG.com. That's BENNETTFG.com, where you can listen or subscribe to our library of YOPE podcasts. Follow us on social media, and as always, please feel free to share this episode with anyone in your personal orbit looking to become better informed and take control of their financial landscape.
Justin Bennett, registered representative of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, OSJ Northeast Planning Corporation, 1150 Raritan Road, Suite 201, Cranford, New Jersey, 07016. 908-709-0020. Securities products offered through PAS, member FINRA SIPC. Financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, New York. PAS is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Bennett Financial Group, LLC is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. California Insurance License Number 0H88104. This podcast is for informational purposes only. Guest speakers and their firms are not affiliated with or endorsed by PAS, Guardian, or Bennett Financial Group, LLC, and opinions stated are their own.
2020-113019, expiry 12 of 2022.